Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Three Cups and a Dash of Spirituality. The ladies are here chatting about a bunch of random things, from dolls to exploration to technological glitches. Enjoy the show. Let's play the music. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Three Cups and a Dash of Spirituality. I am Stacy, and with me here are Carissa and Michelle. Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Hello, Stacy. How are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, just fighting the crap, the crud, whatever you wanna call it.
What is it, a cold?
It is walking pneumonia,
The
but I'm
heck?
here, and I have a voice, so that's a good thing. That's a step
You
in
know,
the right direction.
you sound great, though.
Well, thank you. I was hoping you'd say I sound sexy, like a
Okay,
sexy
I'll
voice
say
when you're
that. You
sick,
sound
but not tonight, not today, I don't.
Michelle always wants to be the sexy one.
But I never am. That's probably why I wanna be it.
Oh, you are. You're
note
just
to self. Next time we record, I'm going to tell Michelle how sexy she is.
Well, thank you. I'll look forward to that. So
giving
what are
her
we talking
all the
about today, ladies?
dream interpretation, the doll Annabelle. What else?
There's a lot going on in the world around us. One of those things being the Annabelle doll. You know, dolls are my nemesis. They frighten me, they freak me out. And now this little doll, I don't even want to say little doll, this doll is doing a tour around the country and kind of wrecking a little bit of havoc along the way.
Yeah.
Why are they traveling with the doll? Do y'all know?
I'm looking it up right now to
Thank
see if
you.
I can find anything. It says Annabelle tour, why the allegedly haunted doll from Connecticut has been viral. Let's see.
I mean, it's in San Antonio right now
Yeah.
And it
and
was in
New Orleans
New
and
Orleans before, and
and
then a plantation caught on fire, so some people were saying, "You bring Annabelle, there's gonna be a fire." Allegedly, that's what I read.
Allegedly.
Stacy, see, I mean, where was she in Connecticut? Was she there all the whole time? Like,
It says here the Annabelle doll was given as a gift to a Hartford nurse in 1970, and she brought it home, and her roommates reported unexplained behavior coming from the toy. And according to the New England Society for Psychic Research, a paranormal research organization started by Connecticut's Ed and Lorraine Warren, it was said to have moved on its own and, in one instance, allegedly attacked the fiance of one of the owners.
yeah.
They were called to investigate and claimed the doll was being manipulated by a spirit of an outside entity. I'm looking to see, but
What is this? This is a Raggedy Ann doll, am I right?
yes, because it is actually, like, housed in Connecticut. It's on tour, but there are currently no events scheduled for Annabelle to appear in Connecticut. Um,
Isn't she on display normally at the Warren Museum? Isn't it at their occult museum in
yes,
Connecticut? That's her home?
the Warren Seeker of Supernatural Paracon, yeah, yep.
Can
Oh,
you
the
imagine?
Warren's Occult Museum, yep, remains closed, so
Oh,
interesting.
could they go see her in that museum if it's closed?
No.
So she was just stuck up in there.
Right, I'm wondering if that's why they're doing the tour is to actually get more visibility with the Annabelle doll. I don't know. It's there is so much around Annabelle that, like, I remember years ago and looking at the history and the weird stuff that happened around this doll. That's why they have it in a locked box. Like, it is actually in a wooden locked box
Thing
so
up.
that it can't move around.
Can you imagine a Raggedy Ann doll coming at you?
I mean, no. And I mean, Michelle, I feel like I wanna go out and get you a small Raggedy Ann doll.
Please don't. Please don't, because I remember as
Yeah.
a child, I loved my dolls. I
Mhm.
had them everywhere. Had some of those Victorian dolls and everything. And I don't know when I mentally did that flip from loving them and
Yeah.
welcoming them into my space to being absolutely terrified
It was
by them.
probably that late 1970s, early 80s scary doll movie.
I don't think I saw that. I mean, I did see Poltergeist with the clown, that crazy clown, and then there was Chucky, but
I bet you
what?
saw commercials, scary movie commercials for those dolls.
I don't know, but even as a young mom, all my friends who had little girls, I would go and get them, like, the perfect doll. Like, I would spend hours looking for the perfect little baby doll, and now I'm terrified of them.
Well, I mean, I honestly can't blame you for that because I know I had a creepy paranormal experience with a doll, and after
Oh,
that,
do
I was out.
tell. Why have
Mm,
you never told me this before?
I've not heard this.
I don't remember how old I was, but it was something, like, not a knockoff, but it was from, like, the American Girl, like, line. It wasn't an American Girl, although it turned me off on mine because I had the Samantha American Girl, but it was something along those lines, and it was my little sister's, and I remember I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and I don't know what it was, but I felt something bizarre in the room, and I looked down, and her doll was in bed with her, and all I heard was, "Ah," and we did not have any talking dolls, and I got so scared, and mind you, I was in the top I was on a top bunk. Like, I shared a room with my little sister, she was on the bottom I was on the top bunk. It scared me so much that I got sick off of the top bunk. My poor father had to clean all of that up, but it made me so I was so scared and terrified because that's all I heard, and I looked down and this doll was just sitting on the bed, and from then on, every single doll that I had that Barbies, doll, like, just regular normal dolls, they all got put in the closet before I went to bed, and if they were out, I was terrified, absolutely terrified.
Did your parents know that you had this fear? Did they understand how deep it went?
No, because I was a kid and they probably thought it was my imagination, which is totally valid. But you also have to remember that this is right around the age where a lot of my psychic abilities were kind of coming to fruition too. Yeah, I was terrified. And I just remember hearing that one thing and I was like, nope, dolls are no longer welcome in my bedroom outside of the closet when we go to bed. But I would also concoct these cups, like Dixie cups full of, random things in my house to protect me. I remember, digging through and using, like, different smelling shampoos and conditioners, making my own little brews of protection, which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting, already stepping into, like, little rituals of your own or ceremonies you could do to protect yourself at such a
Yeah,
young age.
yeah.
So it's kind of innate, like, the need to protect ourselves and to do things around our routine.
And I was the opposite. I lined my bed with my toys, my dolls and toys because of sharks. I thought in the middle of the night, sharks would be swimming around my bed, so my dolls would protect me.
I mean, that's a fair yeah,
It was Jaws. I watched Jaws way too little, but
yeah.
anyway, I digress.
Yeah, so you had this experience with the doll. It didn't have any voice recordings associated with it. You heard mama. Can we just like quickly jump to those damn Furbies? Did you ever have one of those? And did they freak you out when they would just go off all by themselves?
It's a fur
Those little fuzzy things that would repeat words and, learn from you. You don't remember the Furbies? I did. I had a Furby, and it honestly, it didn't freak me out, it got on my nerves. I would leave it, intentionally, way across the house because it would talk periodically throughout, the night and day and whatever.
probably
As
her
we're
mom probably wouldn't allow it because it would have annoyed her. That's probably why.
spirits can interact with our electronics. Stacy and I, earlier before we started recording, were talking, and my watch just randomly threw out a time. It
That is
didn't
true.
have an alarm set. It didn't have anything. It's just like 1:57 or whatever time it was. And I'm like, oh, that's really strange.
Yeah.
Your iWatch?
Yeah.
Mine is never randomly given off the time.
Oh, it did. I looked up and I was like, "Oh, are you waiting for something?" And she was like, "No, it just randomly decides to tell me what time it is. I was like,
So
okay.
maybe I need to write down those numbers and see if there's a pattern there or if there's a message coming through because it's happened 3 times and I've had this watch for like a couple months and it's happened 3 times.
That's interesting. Well, I know it was 157 if that helps you at all.
Crazy. So back to the doll thing though, because what do you think it is about dolls that we find so creepy? Do you think it is everything that's been in pop culture? Do you think it's their eyes? And what eyes are creepier to you? Are they the ones painted on or the ones that open and shut?
I was thinking, well, it comes from that movie, but then where was the idea for dolls then,
Right.
right? Like, why would I choose dolls to be evil?
Yeah. I don't know necessarily if it comes from pop culture. I think it's kind of a strange conception if you kind of step back and think about it, because dolls go back so far in history. But when we look at negative entities or entities in general and their ability or need to communicate through something, a doll would be easy. So I can see, that kind of fear easily kind of bubbling up because they would be just expected.
Oh my gosh, what are the voodoo dolls? I was like, what is
Mhm.
that doll where you put there's voodoo dolls that comes from, but the twisted part is, dolls bring comfort when we're little
Mhm.
and they're choosing it's like the loss of innocence or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
Time to live in fear, human.
And it's not like I would cross the road if there was a doll in the house or anything, but they do make me uncomfortable because a lot of times they are put in environments, they're collectibles. They've been around a long time. There are a lot of really old dolls out there. They tend to be loved very well, so some of them can look really scary. I don't know, you probably remember, but when I was in the Villisca house, there was a doll that was up in the attic, and somebody was trying to take that myth even further, and there was a letters written to this doll saying, "I'm sorry I destroyed the pictures we took. I no longer have them." I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just part of the myth or the lore of this particular doll, but I did ask the caretaker about it. And he said, it's a doll that he found somewhere and he sent it to several haunted locations in order to pick up the energy of those spaces. Like you were saying, it's something as a child that brings us comfort. It's the closest thing we have to other human beings right there with us.
It forms attachment, good attachment.
Good
D
attachments.
Well, you're going to be seeing a doll at
I know. I know. What am I thinking? Yeah, in the next couple of weeks or so, Bonnie and I, we are going to Las Vegas as the first stop on our spring ghost hunt, our visit, or whatever you want to call it. And we are going to the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum. Now, we can do like most people do it and go during the day when it's light outside. Oh no, we are doing an evening flashlight tour of this museum that has a haunted doll named Peggy and probably several other haunted dolls. I don't know what I'm
okay,
thinking.
first of all, you've gotta take video footage for us. We
We
need
can't. They won't let us. We can't take any photos or video.
sounds. Can you record sound? Like, record y'all in there?
I think it says that we can take an audio recorder.
Okay. Please do an audio recording. It's
Okay.
so fun to hear that.
I
And
agree.
tell us about Peggy. 'Cause I don't
I
know.
will. I've done a little bit of research on her, but I'll wait until we talk about her to share all of that. But I did go on Reddit and there was information on her. Like people write in about
Peggy.
Peggy and like their experiences and what experiences have happened. So, one of the things they say is there is a spirit box next to her. And usually, when the tour goes into the room, the guide will ask her to say somebody's name in the room. And they were wondering if that was real, if it really happened, or if it's because you bought a ticket and they knew names and somebody's manipulating the spirit box. So,
Do you get to use your paranormal equipment?
Not in that location. No, they will give us some paranormal equipment to investigate with. We get a flashlight, an audio recorder, and I think an audit. I'll double check that. I'll report back.
That's it.
That's all.
Well, but what's the paranormal tool will light up when there's energetic activity? What's it called?
That's an EMF reader.
EMF. So you can't use an EMF?
I don't believe so. I think we can bring one. I think they will give us one. They will give us
Oh,
some
okay.
equipment to use while
Okay.
we're there.
Yeah.
See, that actually has me questioning more though, because like I'm kind of like I get it on the one hand because you're selling tickets and you're trying to essentially run a business. However, if I can only use what you're providing me, what have you done to it?
Exactly.
I'm curious. So I'm not saying that that's what's happening, and that's not even like remotely, but that's where my brain goes. So I'm even more curious as to what your experience is going to look like.
There's always you have to have healthy cynicism, especially when you're dealing with the spiritual side. You have to have healthy cynicism.
You do. You need to question everything because it keeps us, as you said before, out of Delulu land, and it keeps us in check too, so we don't go too far, like thinking something happened without checking ourselves. And personally, I like to try to debunk everything I do because if I can debunk it, then
I sleep better at night.
I sleep better at night.
If I know the TV's glitching because somebody, has a similar remote that's nearby, I'm gonna sleep better once I figure that out rather than having it randomly turn off.
Exactly, because that'll keep you up, let me tell you, because I've had fans go on in my house, and I couldn't debunk it. It just went off in the middle of the night. I blamed my husband. He said, "Nope, wasn't me." So,
Always fun.
yeah. So I'm just really curious. I mean, this is a new adventure that we're going on, and I've heard both sides of people experience from both sides of people. I know of a person who went in and said, absolutely nothing happened. And then I've heard the other side too, where somebody goes in, they took their husband with them, and their husband experienced things far beyond leaving that house because he didn't protect himself. So,
Well, you also have to remember that you have to be open to experiences.
yes, you do.
So I'm not gonna say that no experience it makes it not real. But if you're not open to an experience, nothing's gonna happen because you're not open to it. So you're kind of setting yourself up to have nothing, in that
Or they're having experiences and they're so subtle that they're not tuned in because their cynicism is so high.
right. I mean, it's like the same person that comes in for a reading of any sort that doesn't believe in it, but is there just to prove that it's not real. What are we doing here? Why are you wasting my time? I mean, like, why are you wasting your own time? If you're not open to it, you're not open to it. I'm not going to change your mind.
Yeah.
That's so true. Recently, I was going on a trip, and it's to a location, part of the country I have never been to before. And I swear the universe was just letting me know I was on track. However, had I not been paying attention, like you just talked about, I might have missed it. Like I had two things through our social media. I had one listener reach out and say that they had gone to a haunted location in Kentucky. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in that same city next week. And then I had another one who reached out, and the most recent podcast she had released was all on Kentucky. I had random text messages from a Kentucky area code. I turned on the TV. There was a random case about the town I was going to. So it's just like the universe kept nudging me, saying, okay, like I'm going to fill everything around you with the energy of this place. So of course I'm ready to walk in there like what's going to happen, but then I had to release that too because I had to be open to what was going to happen. Like I shouldn't just assume there's going to be an experience just because the universe is like, nope, you're going the right way. This is on path.
Yeah.
It just ties kind of back to what we were saying about watching the signs and being open to what could happen, but don't start expecting either
Yeah.
because that'll
Yeah.
take you out of that flow.
Be open to all experiences, but don't set expectations walking in. Don't expect certain things a certain way. And, like I think that goes I think we set ourselves up a lot for disappointment with that, and it's very similar to how we work with people, right? If I'm sitting with somebody and I'm working with them on a goal and we're not expectation setting, we're not, you know, setting something that's achievable, we're all gonna fail. We're setting ourselves up for failure from the jump. But if we're doing it to ourselves upon exploration of a new space or, experience or anything along those lines, setting expectations from the jump is actually gonna set us up even more for failure in a different way.
I
Does that
agree.
make any sense?
It did.
What is like your thing, Michelle? Travel, paranormal activity. I mean, it's just like your thing.
There seems to be a lot of connections there, and so I am just having fun watching it all unfold and to learn the different lessons along the way because there's lessons everywhere we go. So,
Sure.
yeah, and this museum too. I mean, I'm just saying it does have that true crime component to it. It has a lot in there. So, I will be mentally taking notes or talking into my audio recorder as I go, just trying to remember everything. And I keep telling myself I can do anything for an hour and a half.
Yes.
Yes, you can. It's just oh, that's not bad at
It's
all.
not bad at all. And the, the other part of it is because, I get very protective of myself and, I will obviously walk myself through that before I go in, but I have my car there, my physical car, my car that I own, and I'm, like, thinking, "I need to just Uber there. I need to not bring my car onto this property because it kind of freaks me out a little bit." But then the flip side of that is if I leave my car there because I'm afraid to bring it on property, what if an Uber doesn't come and I'm stuck in, like, Las Vegas in a part of town I don't know?
Are y'all staying in Vegas that
Yeah,
night?
we're staying on the Strip, and it's, like, 6 miles away.
Yeah, it's better to Uber, especially if you have a glass of wine at dinner and then your nerves are shot afterwards.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That's a question I could ask because I'll be, walking through those steps. Do I even drink a drip of alcohol before going in there? Because that makes you more susceptible to things. So I think I'm gonna have to wait till afterwards for that.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
If you
gonna have to let you know how it all goes.
I'm kind of excited now and can't wait to hear about it.
and that's in you're going this weekend, yeah. That's
Yeah, this weekend,
fun.
but
Yeah,
it'll be a couple weeks before people hear about it. Maybe not. I don't know.
that's fun. I can't wait. I want that, audio footage too.
I know, I
I
know.
wanna hear some screams. I wanna hear what you feel and think right when you come up to the doll, all that fun stuff.
All of the
Yeah.
things.
I'm hoping I can record it all, so
But I want more of why we can't talk about Peggy at all.
no, we can talk about Peggy if you would like to.
Can you just give us a baseline? Like, and I know you're gonna come back after the experience and give us details, but can you give us a baseline?
Sure.
Oh, Peggy gave people allegedly, let's do allegedly, people reported experience headaches, chest pains, nausea, and even heart attacks after viewing images or videos of the doll. And the owner
Yes,
started using EMF detectors and spirit boxes around her. Oh,
that's all correct. It is said that just to see her image in a photo could cause those things to happen that you just explained. The anxiety, the chest pain, all of that could happen just seeing her photo.
wait. Some mediums suggest that Peggy is inhabited by the spirit of a woman who died under traumatic circumstances, possibly during the Holocaust. How would the spirit, was she from Germany? I mean,
That's I mean, I guess that could
where
make
did that
sense.
come from? I gotta do a deep dive, guys.
Yeah, we'll do a deep dive and I'll come back and report in more
Mm.
detail. But I think the history is she was found maybe at a garage sale or something. Someone brought her into the home. They started having issues. So that person gave her to a psychic medium who started having issues within her house. And then she ended up eventually at the Zak Bagans Museum. And those
She
symptoms are all
she is from the UK.
reported. Yeah, the UK.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I wonder if people start talking with a UK accent after they see her.
I do not know, Cheerio.
Golly.
I'll let you know what happens. I'm
Definitely.
open to the experience. That's what I'm telling myself. I can do anything for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's an hour and a half, 90 minutes. 30-minute increments times 3, you can break it down as much as you need. 10-minute increments times 9, like,
I
whatever.
just love you guys. You're so supportive. I think this episode has gone completely full circle. I mean, we started talking about electronics and how spirits can communicate. Maybe this is a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say stay classy.
And stay badassy. Until next time, everybody. Wish me luck.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of 3 Cups and a Dash of Spirituality. If you like what you heard, please know that we have a full library of episodes now available on your favorite podcasting platform. You can listen to it now, or you can download it to listen to later. Also, if you'd like to give us a review, we'd appreciate it. We love connecting with listeners, and thank you in advance.